Hello, Admiral Thrawn here. I'm doing another massive battle preview in which I basically face off two opposing regions' armies against each other, and I'll just show off the new units for Age of Petty Kings 2.0. Here I'll be showing off the Battle of the Greenfork, as it took place several hundred years beforehand and all that, starring House Lannister and the Westerlands against the North and the Starks. So this will contain a total of 7 different armies, and yeah. So the way I'm going to do this is slightly different from the last one. I'm going to start the battle, and then immediately I'm going to pause it and show off the different armies, just to show you the units and all, and then I'll resume it and actually sort of manage my troops and all to make them not lose horribly like they did last time, hopefully. But anyways, so first off, we'll start with the Lannisters of the West. They're divided into 2 recruitment regions. First off, you have House Sarsfield. They control the Golden Pass. Basically, the Golden Pass consists of Sarsfield, which is like the area around the Golden Tooth itself, and Ox Cross. And they'll have their own unique roster, though it'll have a lot of overlap with the Lannister roster. They'll have these elite longbowmen here that are really, really good. They'll have pikemen, one of the factions that still has pikemen and whatnot. They'll have these heavy swordsmen and levies, and yeah, then there's also the Lannisters from the Westerlands, and that contains most of the other Lannister holdings. They'll have a much more diverse roster. They'll have not as good archers here. They'll have pikemen. There's some levies. Both sides there have heavy swordsmen. Then they'll have their knights, like their heavy knights here. Then they'll also have these mounted men-at-arms, which are basically sword-bearing cavalry, which, so basically these are just like men-at-arms swordsmen who ride around on horses because they can afford it because they're Lannisters and they're rich. And then finally, there's these outriders here and more levies. As for House Tarbeck, their roster is somewhat similar. The Tarbecks will have access to their elite border knights here, as well as outriders, which are, your standard outriders. Levies, they'll have crossbowmen because they have a lot more of a reach influence on their areas because they border the reach. They'll also have elite longbowmen, and they'll have their pikemen, their elite heavy swordsmen and all, men-at-arms, levies, and more elite knights. And finally, you have the Rains of Castamere. They'll have 2 recruitment regions as well. They'll have their own recruitment region, as well as the which is around Castamere, Feastfires, Case, and Fair Isle. And then also House Marbrand will be sworn to them, and they'll control the areas up to the north, around the Marbrand Estates, Windhall, the Bane Forts, the areas around the Westerlands northern coast. And they'll have their levies, the longbowmen, crossbowmen, longbowmen for the Marbrands, crossbowmen for the Rains, pikemen, men-at-arms, knights. Basically a very heavy, somewhat expensive roster here. As for the North, they'll have a bit more diversity in their roster because it's so large and so diverse. First off, you have the Starks. I've already shown them off a bit in the my sneak preview that I put into my Let's Mod video. But yeah, they will have their their Northern Cavalry, which aren't knights, but they're basically knights and all. They're as good as knights. They'll have their levies. They'll have some mediocre archers. The Stark archers aren't very good. They'll have the Wolfswood Hunters are okay. Their Wintermoor archers are not. But yeah, they're good for holding a wall, not much else. They'll have pikemen, they're the only northern faction to have pikemen. They'll have their men-at-arms swordsmen, and also the only northern faction to have them. And these here I just finished. These are the mountain clans of the north. These are their heavy champions and whatnot, bearing large axes. You'll notice some of the sigils here for House Wool, Harclay, Nori, Flint. This is the sigil I made for the Flints of Brickstone Hill, which are like the original Flints in the north. The Flints of Widow's Watch and Flint's Finger came later. They're sort of copycat houses, or break-offs, or whatever you want to call them. More heavy northern cavalry, more levies. These are the more sort of like the lighter clan warriors and all that. They have short spears and whatnot. Axemen from the Wolfswood. And then just lighter outriders from the Wolfswood as well. The Boltons here are taking the center line. They'll have these guys here. These are a fear unit called Skinwares. They basically, they look like Hannibal Lecter here. They basically cut off the face of an enemy warrior and wear it as a mask because Boltons are totally fucked up. And their main ability is they kind of suck in combat, but they have a fear ability, and so basically they make enemy troops run away in fear when they see them. So yeah, you don't want to mess with these guys. They'll have their levies, they'll have, these guys here are basically sort of hybrid crossbowmen / heavy axemen. They're pretty fun. These are from the Old Coast around House Locke. Basically there's two recruitment regions for the Boltons. The Old Coast around like House Locke and whatnot, and Flint of Widow's Watch. Or actually no, Flint of Widow's Watch is with the Boltons, but basically, yeah, House Locke is mostly it and whatnot. And like the Sheepshead Hills. They'll have these crossbowmen and whatnot, whereas then the Weeping Moors are around the Dreadfort. They'll have these heavy guys here. These are axe throwers. And they'll have axe throwers. They'll also have these guys here. They aren't really pikemen, but they're sort of pseudo-pikemen, more like halberds. The Old Coast, meanwhile, will have actual like halberds and whatnot. These are some guys that I just made and whatnot, and they're pretty fun. So they'll have some decent counter-cavalry, but not amazing, not as good as the Stark pikemen. They'll have their regular old heavy cavalry here, their levies, and then like some outriders and all, pretty standard. The Umbers have almost no cavalry. They will have their levies here for like, this here is basically the Alderwood. This is going to eventually become the area around Carhold. But basically, the House Karstark was founded when Carlin Stark defeated a rebel house of an unknown origin. And so I basically said that House Alder with the red cross, with the red X as their sigil, is the one he defeated. So for now, they rule the woods. And then also added some other houses from World of Ice and Fire to sort of fill in that area. And so, yeah, and then they'll have outriders, but not very good ones. They will also have these Skagosti clansmen here from Skagos and all. They have whalers, and also some just regular old clan warriors with axes. Now these are like these guys are whalers. They have throwing spears as well as regular spears. The Umbers will also have axe throwers like the Boltons do. They'll have their sort of pseudo phalanx of kind of not really pikes. They'll have their heavy infantry. These are now the only firstman faction with these super heavy infantry here, so they'll be really good. These will be their general units as well. They won't have mounted generals. And more levies, some mediocre, not very good outriders, but they're there if you need them. And then, yeah, here's the Skagosi warriors and all that. And then finally, House Dustin. I basically decided to make them into Rohan because they're already sort of based on Rohan. But yeah, they'll have tons of cavalry. So they'll have their Barrow Knights here. These guys are really good. They'll have these Barrowland Raiders, which are basically sort of axe cavalry. They're good for counter cavalry. They'll have more Barrow Knights. They'll have more Outriders. These guys here are Barrowland Skirmishers. They are basically mounted Javelin men, and they can do a lot of damage. And yeah, they'll also have some basically pretty crappy archers and levies and whatnot, but that's not really the point of their army. Their army is basically going to be almost entirely cavalry. And so yeah, basically if you love cavalry, if you want to have like an all-cavalry army, House Dustin will be the way to go. And so yeah, those are the rosters. Now I'm going to try and actually fight and win this battle while leaving it as a with no sort of nice little unit UI thing, just because the unit cards are not done yet. But yeah, so right now what I've done is I'm basically trying to support my allies here. And so basically I'm going to try and move in with my army. And I did not control group these guys here. I should probably do that now. No, I should not have controlled these guys, never mind. But yeah, basically I'm going to try and, this is just begging to get cavalry charged. So I'm going to charge in with my heavy cavalry here, try and wipe out these Umbers while they're in disarray. It looks like they're all marching towards the Starks, I'm not entirely sure why. Then my spikes here should be able to deflect their cavalry charge, and my pikemen should be able to deal with whatever is left. But yeah, so here come my heavy Westerland Knights to wipe out these Umber scum. They're going to try and get off a volley of axe throws, but I doubt that'll be very effective. Yeah, there we go. That's very nice. Let's try and get a flanking charge on you guys. So yeah, I'm currently doing a lot of good damage on these guys. And the Tarbecks are sending in some troops to help me out. Up here, the Tarbecks are getting pretty heavily engaged with the Boltons. Hopefully they'll be able to hold. And the Rains and the Starks are coming to blows also. So hopefully my allies can survive while I deal with these guys. I'm already taking on half of Umber and all of Dustin, so I should be able to do that without too much trouble. I basically completely wiped out their skirmishers, which is nice. But yeah, focus on the Baronites. Maybe the skirmishers too, why not? Then I'm leaving my pikemen there just to, deal with the Dustins. So hopefully these guys here can deal with the Skagosi Whalers. Or warriors, never mind. The whalers are elsewhere. And my Westerland Knights have done very well for themselves, it would seem. Or, no, I don't want to attack the spearmen. The spearmen are these pseudo-pikemen. I don't want to fight them. What I want to do is I want to find some infantry who I can send at them. Who are you guys? You guys are some levies. Yeah, let's send the levies at these pikemen and whatnot. Then I can get a flanking charge in with my cavalry. Oh yeah, and I've basically totally wiped these guys out now. Yeah, the Umbers have just completely been crushed here. It looks like we may be seeing a Westerland victory, though let's not count our coppers yet. I'm going to try and charge in here and wipe out their rear line. They have some non-spearmen here, which should be pretty weak. And then... what are you? You guys are also some levies. And then I'll get into a flanking charge on these, once you guys disengage, let's flanking charge these guys. They're wavering, so that should be good. They have their really shitty riders here, which I should be able to ignore pretty handily. And that should hopefully break them, maybe. Will it? Maybe? Not really? I guess not. The good news is our pikemen are going up against them, and our pikemen can handle them pretty well, so that should be fine then. And you guys get a little further away there. Unfortunately, the Tarbeck scouts have been wiped out. No, focus on knights. You guys go fight them. So it looks like we're doing pretty well in this battle. The Boltons here are still have a good amount of forces, and so do the Starks. In fact, it looks like, ooh, this is not good. It looks like our allies here of House Rain are being crushed. This is not good for us. Yeah, this is basically just complete chaos right now on the battlefield. I've wiped out these phalanx of spearmen here, which is good. And I've routed these levies. Unfortunately, my Westerland Knights are basically a spent force. So we'll see if I'm able to pull off anything with this. House Dustin's forces are mostly being destroyed. They still have a lot of heavy cavalry, though. Like, tons of heavy cavalry here. They haven't been using it very effectively, but it looks like they're finally going to try and charge my center here with these Baronites. With any luck, this will not work for them. It looks like, I'm not sure why those archers are up there. Let's pull you guys back. You guys go forward. They're going to charge right through my pikes here. And it looks like I've killed the Umber General. That's good. And okay, time to engage with the pikemen. These guys here are raiders. Those guys shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, so I'm just sweeping in here. They really don't have much that can actually stop me at this point, unless they micro the cavalry really well, and this is Medieval 2 AI, so they won't. The Umber Riders are routing, even though they still have like 40 guys left, which is nice for me. I'm going to try and get my levies... Oh no, their spearmen are still giving us problems. Ooh. Here, let's try and flank with these guys. I have some knights here, so that should be enough. No, don't attack the Bolton Spearmen. Don't attack the Spear Phalanx instead of... Those Bolton Spearmen are looking scary, and I don't want to fight them right now. Though, actually, this could be really nice. They've attacked their rear. I can sandwich them. There's a chance. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, no, pull back. Get the hell out of there. Yeah, I've nerfed pikemen quite a bit. I'm not sure if I've nerfed the longbowmen yet, but they will certainly be nerfed by the time that I release 2.0. I don't want it to be like as totally unbalanced as it was last time. Let's try and take out these Umber champions here. And it looks like they've routed the Bolton Spearmen. That's good. Archers pull back. Longbowmen, you guys, we need you over here to deal with these Stark pikemen. Yeah, it's death to Tony Stark. And... here. You guys, except for them, go attack them. I'm going to have you chase down those guys. Mounted men-at-arms. Yeah, you guys can run down these guys. These guys are not that great at charging, so I'm going to have them run down these spearmen so they don't come back. Where are my knights? I should have my knights somewhere. They are... I guess I only have one unit of knights left. Oh, no, I have two. Good. Yeah. Where are the Starks? I don't see that many of them. Well, either way, let's try and get a flanking charge in against these guys. They're up against my levies right now, and they can beat my levies pretty easily. So, yeah. As you can see, like, the main reason why the pikemen have been nerfed is that they no longer basically keep the enemy, like, super far away. So they're still good, and they're still useful as a central line. But it's not like the enemy just can't even touch them. So, flank, and then a rear charge should finish things off. Knights, you deal with these Greenfork cavalry. Shit, I think my general just died. Yeah, my general's dead. That's not good. Fortunately, the Dustin general is dead too. That's good. All the generals are dying. This is like actually Game of Thrones because everyone's dead now. Well, the Starks actually aren't dead. It was just surprising. The Border Knights are still alive. And that's enough against these Stark pikemen here. They're not going to break instantly, and so then it's not worth it to fight them. Where are my men-at-arms? Do I have any men-at-arms left? Oh yeah, they're over there. They're fighting against the Dustins. And the Dustins are all routing, so I'm going to... As soon as these guys here break, I'm going to send them all that way. Yeah, this should be just fine, just because, like... Basically, I have all these reserves over here that were originally fighting the the Dustins, and now the Dustins are broken. I can just send them all smashing into the Starks, and there's not that many Starks left in the first place, so it should be fine. Though shit, my levies have broken. That's bad, and double shit. My knights are fighting these halberdmen. Yeah, these guys can kill cavalry pretty nicely, so let's avoid them at all costs. In terms of the mod's completeness, I still have, I'm releasing a lot of previews, but there's still a lot of work left to go. I still have to make the Riverland rosters, the Ironborn rosters, the Vale rosters, and along with, all the unit cards for all the factions, tons of other stuff. It's basically, yeah, it's coming very nicely, but it's definitely not anywhere close to complete. These guys, it looks like they came back from routing. Oh, you guys, yeah, definitely shoot the pikemen. The pikemen are the big scary bit. And then, yeah, I still have some pikemen of my own. In fact, I've got plenty of pikemen here. So yeah, I should win this battle eventually. It'll just be a little bit difficult to do the stuff. But yeah, House Dustin, they were dealt with nicely. Really, Dustin, the trick with them is just to be able to micromanage your cavalry well, and that's difficult. But as you can see, there's tons of guys just routing everywhere here. There's like a Tarbek guy running right next to some Stark guys, and that'd be really awkward. It's like, I'm running away too. Holy shit, we're on the same side, we're on different sides. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyways, I'm surprised these guys haven't come back yet, actually. Yeah, there's like 40 of them, or 50. Well, there's 40 and there's 50 in the other units. But either way, there's tons of carnage on the battlefield here so far. Tons of dead people, but that's okay. That's what we expected. I'm going to attack these levies here. I want to pick my battles now. I want to get my pikemen against their pikemen, you know? But let's first get these guys stuck, and then we can do the pikeman stuff. And then, yeah, my longbowmen have broken those pikemen. Let's break these watchguards now. The Stark General is still alive. Wow, this Stark is like the most un-Stark-like Stark out there. And no, don't fight the Stark pikemen. I don't want you to fight them. Wow, 3 knights left and 14 in the other unit. Yeah, these knights have been like totally wiped out. But fortunately, everything else in the battle seems to be going well. Okay, no, these levies are dead, but my pikemen are still in formation. I think it was wise to leave the pikemen back there to fight the Dustins, because it meant that now that now that the battle is winding down, they're still intact, whereas the Starks and the Boltons have had their forces pretty much wiped out. These guys here don't just stand around. My mounted men-at-arms are still mostly intact as well, so I still have a cavalry force for this late in the battle. And another almost fully intact unit of swordsmen. Let's see here. What else is left? Oh, one thing that I did here that I configured is that you can use the WASD keys to maneuver around the battlefield. Just it's not really like a major change or whatever, but like if you like to be able to use your keys to maneuver on the battlefield, that's a nice thing. Oh, another thing that I did as well was a lot of people have been having trouble with their battles in that they use the all category for the different army types. And I'll just tell you right now, the all option is broken. It has to do with Medieval 2 Total War limits, and there's really no way to fix it. So, yeah, basically never select the all option. Fortunately, I found a way to actually make it say that it's broken in game, like for 2.0. But yeah, if you're playing 1.0, don't select all for battles, like in terms of rosters. Plus, you don't actually need it. And in 1.0, there's no difference between the different eras, with the exception that mercenaries are available in the the high period. And the Bolton General is dead. Oh no, the Stark General finally died. Wow, this has been the most long-lived Stark in all of Westeros. Anyways, there's really not much left against me. I think it's just these clan champions, I think. Which the mountain clans are always the last guys of the dying cause. Though I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Stannis and his mountain clans will pull through. We'll see. Though this isn't really spoilers if you watch the show, just because that's a change that they don't appear to be going with. Anyways, here we go. Yeah, I don't think there's really anybody else left. I mean, if you look at just the total carnage in the battlefield, this is like the Starks and the Rains here. They're all totally dead. More dead guys, lots and lots of dead guys all over the place here. Yeah, this map here is the Greenfork. I just created it, and sweet, the battle is over. Let's end the battle. I don't want to chase everybody down. So let's see here. In terms of number of dead, that is 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1,500. That's like about 6,500 Northerners dead, and about 4,000 or so Westerners dead. That's a lot of dead people. Sweet. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this preview video for Age of Petty Kings. I'll be releasing more soon. And yeah, check out our our ModDB page for and also our Total War Center thread for more previews and images and stuff. And yeah, I'm Thrawn signing off.